Lynn Swann is an American politician who was the chairman of the President's Council on Fitness, Sports, and Nutrition from 2002 to 2005. In 2006, he was the Republican nominee for Pennsylvania governor. Before entering politics, he was an American football wide receiver for the NFL's Pittsburgh Steelers. Swann played college football at USC, where he was a consensus All-American. He was drafted by the Steelers in the first round of the 1974 NFL Draft. With the Steelers, Swann won 4 Super Bowls, was selected to 3 Pro Bowls, and was named MVP of Super Bowl X. He was inducted into the Pro Football Hall of Fame in 2001. Biography. Early life. Swann was born in Alcoa, Tennessee, in the foothills of the Great Smoky Mountains near Knoxville. The Swann family moved to San Mateo, California, in the San Francisco Bay Area when Lynn was 2. As a youth, Swann was raised in neighboring Foster City and attended Junipero Serra High School, where in addition to playing football he was a track star, leaping 24 feet 10 inches in the long jump. At the 1970 SIF California State Championship meet, Swann won the state title, defeating future Olympic gold medalist Randy Williams. Personal life. On June 10, 1979, during the summer after winning Super Bowl XIII, Swann married Bernadette Roby, the daughter of singer Paul Roby of the Platters. The pair divorced in 1983, and she is currently married to boxing legend Sugar Ray Leonard. On June 23, 1991, Swann married Karina, a psychologist, and they have 2 sons, Braxton and Schaefer. Schaefer and Braxton are currently attending Central Catholic High School. Football career. Collegiate. Swann attended the University of Southern California, where he was an All-American on the Trojans football team. He played under coach John McKay, including the 1972 undefeated and national championship season. McKay said of Swann, "He has speed, soft hands, and grace." He completed a Bachelor of Arts degree in Public Relations in 1974. In 1993, he was inducted into the College Football Hall of Fame. In 1971, Swann had 27 catches for 305 yards and 2 touchdowns. He led USC in catches and finished second to W.R. Edessel Garrison in receiving yards. In 1972, Swann rushed for 117 yards and had 27 catches for 543 yards and 3 touchdowns. This time he led USC in receiving yards and finished second to tight end Charlie Young in catches. In 1973, Swann rushed for 99 yards while catching 42 passes for 714 yards and 6 touchdowns. Professional career. Swann was selected by the Pittsburgh Steelers with the 21st pick of the first round in the 1974 NFL Draft. The Steelers' draft class of '74 is considered one of the best in NFL history and included 4 eventual Hall of Famers: Swann, John Stallworth, Mike Webster, and Jack Lambert. Swann spent his entire NFL career with the Steelers and wore the jersey number 88. As a rookie, he led the NFL with 577 punt return yards, a franchise record and the 4th most in NFL history at the time. He went on to win a championship ring with the Steelers in Super Bowl IX but did not record any receptions in the tough defensive struggle. However, he returned 3 punts for 34 yards. The following season became the highlight of Swann's career. He caught 49 passes for 781 yards and a league-leading 11 touchdowns. In the AFC title game against the Oakland Raiders, George Atkinson knocked Swann out of the game with a very hard but legal hit. He suffered a severe concussion that forced him to spend 2 days in a hospital, but surprised many by returning to play for Super Bowl X. Swann recorded 4 catches for a Super Bowl record 161 yards and a touchdown in the game, assisting the Steelers to a 21-17 win and becoming the first wide receiver to earn Super Bowl MVP honors. Swann was unique among football players in that he credited his experiences in dance earlier in life with contributing to his aptitude on the football field. A 1981 interview which aired on Misty Rogers' Neighborhood showed him on the field, and then in the Pittsburgh dance studio where he later underwrote scholarships. 3 seasons later the Steelers made it to Super Bowl XIII. In the game, Swann caught 7 passes for 124 yards and scored the final touchdown for Pittsburgh in their 35-31 win over the Dallas Cowboys. The Steelers made it back to the Super Bowl again in the 1979 season, and Swann caught 5 passes for 79 yards and a touchdown in Pittsburgh's 31-19 win in Super Bowl XIV. Overall, Swann gained 364 receiving yards and 398 all-purpose yards in his 4 Super Bowls, which were both Super Bowl records at the time. Swann retired after the 1982 season with 4 Super Bowl rings. He amassed 336 career receptions for 5,462 yards and 51 touchdowns, along with 72 rushing yards, a rushing touchdown, and 739 punt return yards and a touchdown. He was a Pro Bowl selection 3 times: 1975, 1977, 1978, and was selected on the 1970s All-Decade Team. Swann was named an All-Pro Team selection in 1975, 1977, and 1978. He was elected to the Pro Football Hall of Fame in 2001, a year before his teammate John Stallworth. He was also selected to the NFL 1970s All-Decade Team by Hall of Fame voters. After football, on January 11, 1983, Swann announced his retirement from the Steelers. Swann went on to serve as a director on the boards of H.J. Heinz Co., Hershey Entertainment and Resorts, and Wyndham International. He was a football and sports broadcaster for ABC Sports from 1976 to 2006, but left to run for Pennsylvania governor. Swann briefly hosted the television game show To Tell the Truth, on which he had previously appeared as a panelist before replacing original host Gordon Elliott, on NBC from 1990 to 1991. His 14-week run as MC ended, and he was replaced by Alex Trebek. He made a cameo appearance on Mr. Rogers' Neighborhood. During his time at ABC, Lynn Swann began his broadcasting career in 1976 while still active with the Pittsburgh Steelers. Upon retirement in January 1983, Swann began his career full-time with ABC Sports, which ended after the 2006 Sugar Bowl. Swann has broadcast a variety of events as a host, reporter, and analyst. Included in these events are the 1976 Winter Olympics, the 1976 Summer Olympics, the 1980 Winter Olympics, the 1984 Winter Olympics, the 1984 Summer Olympics, the 1988 Winter Olympics, the Iditarod Trail Sled Dog Race, International Diving Championships, USFL, College Football and Monday Night Football, the Kentucky Derby, Preakness Stakes, Belmont Stakes, the Irish Derby, ABC's Wide World of Sports, and Kurt Gowdy's The American Sportsman. Swann was the sideline reporter on CBS' Clash of Champions bowling telecast that aired on May 10-11, 2008. He teamed with color analyst Nelson Burton Jr. and play-by-play man Bill McCarty. The broadcast marked bowling's return to network television for the first time since 1999 when CBS carried it. In October 2009, Swann joined the Augusta National Golf Club. He is a dues-paying member of the Home of the Masters Golf Tournament, which is held every April. On August 19, 2010, the Pittsburgh Tribune-Review reported that Swann would be a part of the ownership team for Pittsburgh's AFL expansion franchise. which began playing in the spring of 2011. Named the Pittsburgh Power, the team shares the new Consol Energy Center with the Pittsburgh Penguins of the National Hockey League. Swann has said that, despite his football experience, he doesn't interfere in the day-to-day coaching, although he will occasionally give some advice. Swann made an appearance, playing himself in the role of a sideline reporter at the Bourbon Bowl in the 1998 Adam Sandler comedy feature film The Waterboy. He was inducted into the Rose Bowl Hall of Fame on December 30, 2013 at the Pasadena Convention Center. Political career. Physical Fitness and Sports Council Chairman on June 20, 2002, President George W. Bush appointed Swann as the chairman of the United States President's Council on Physical Fitness and Sports during a fitness expo at the White House. Swann succeeded Lee Haney, who had been appointed to the post by President Clinton. In 2003, President Bush and Chairman Lynn Swann launched PresidentChallenge.org at the Lake West Family YMCA in Dallas, Texas. Within the next year, 300,000 individuals registered on the website. Swann spoke at the National Press Club about the council's programs to help Americans be physically active every day, and introduced the Presidential Active Lifestyle Award. In 2004, Swann and President Bush declared May as an annual National Physical Fitness and Sports Month, and created the annual Healthier as Fitness Festival. They also enacted the Healthier Feds Physical Activity Challenge initiative for federal employees. On July 30, 2005, Lynn Swann retired as council chairman and was succeeded by John P. Burke. 2006 candidacy for governor. In December 2004, Swann, who resides in the Pittsburgh suburb of Swickley Heights, Pennsylvania, indicated that he was considering seeking the Republican nomination for governor of Pennsylvania in the 2006 election. On February 23, 2005, Swann filed papers with the state elections board stating his intention to run. On the same day, he formed a fundraising committee called Team 88 after his Steeler jersey number. On January 4, 2006, Swann formally declared his candidacy for governor of Pennsylvania. Swann's opponents for the Republican primary had initially included Jim Panyard, State Senator Jeff Pickle, and former Lieutenant Governor William Scranton. 3. After Swann received the endorsement of the Republican State Committee on February 11, 2006, all three opponents quit the race, leaving Swann as the only Republican to have filed by the deadline of March 7, 2006. Swann chose Montgomery County Commissioner Jim Matthews as his running mate. Polls in early February showed Swann and Rendell in a statistical tie, though Rendell had the advantage of being the popular incumbent. Swann's campaign focused on reforming Harrisburg by addressing mass transit, property tax, law enforcement, the environment and the growing concern of obesity. He also supported giving the Pittsburgh Penguins Pittsburgh's lone slots license so they could build a new arena, free of taxpayer money. In the end, Swann lost the election with 40% of the vote to incumbent Ed Rendell's 60%. Had Swann won, he would have been the first African-American governor of Pennsylvania and only the third African-American elected governor of a state in U.S. history. Of the three Republican African-American gubernatorial candidates in 2006, all three of whom lost, Kenneth Blackwell lost in Ohio, and Randy Daniels lost in New York. 2008 to present. In 2008, Swann confirmed that he was considering running for the United States House of Representatives from Pennsylvania's 4th Congressional District against Wahida Jason Altmaier. However, Swann did not file for the election and former Congresswoman Melissa Hart won the Republican nomination unopposed and then lost to Altmaier in the 2008 general election. In the 2008 presidential election, Swann endorsed and campaigned with Arizona Senator John McCain for the presidency, though Swann had remained neutral through the primaries. In 2012, he did the same for former Massachusetts Governor Mitt Romney, once Romney had become the presumptive Republican nominee. In 2015, before the primary elections, Swann announced his support of former Florida Governor Jeb Bush.